Today on the program, Presidency rejects European Union's final report on 2023 general election. I've been hanging out with returning Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Gani Kairi Balogun. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Let's begin with history and celebration of culture. Kogi State Governor Yaya Adoze Bello has upgraded the 723-year-old royal stool of Akiri of Ekiriade in Ijumu local government area of the state to a first-class status. Governor Bello made the pronouncement at the colorful coronation of the new Akiri, Oba Johnson Kolade Otitoju in Ekiriade at the weekend. The governor directed the state commissioner for local government and chieftaincy affairs, Abdusalam Ozigi Didat, to immediately prepare and present the memo to the State Executive Council for approval of the upgrade in the interest of fairness, justice, and equity, as the community deserves such recognition. Let's share the story with you.
Ekiriade in Ijumu local government area of Kogi State comes alive on this auspicious day. Many sons and daughters are back home to witness the crowning of their new king. It is a day of cultural displays, with hunters kicking off the event with their own showing. While different cultural groups intersperse the program with rich cultural displays. Dignitaries from all walks of life troop in from outside the community, with the governor of Lagos State represented by his commissioner for information. Monarchs, in a show of solidarity, bring messages of goodwill to the Akiri of Ekiri. It is a day of fulfillment for the fourth Akiri of Ekiri, Oba Johnson Kolade Otitoju, and he assures that his reign shall bring lasting development to the land.
As the weight of leadership rests upon the shoulders of his select group, today we bestow this immense responsibility in respect of Ekiri community upon the newly coronated Akiri, Oba Johnson Kolade Otitoju, knowing that he possesses the wisdom, strength, and integrity to lead his people.
Baba is a man of peace, and I think Ekiriade is lucky to have me as the paramount ruler and Baba as one of the community heads. And together we are going to move Ekiriade to the next level.
It's a very big responsibility, very large one. By the grace of God, with my personality, my education, and my interaction with people near and far. So they expect good leadership from me, just as I expect good followership from them.
TVC News Group Controller, Current Affairs, and son of the newly crowned Oba of Ekiri, Prince Babajide Kolade Otitoju, gives the vote of thanks to close the event.
I am just happy, I'm just excited. We've been planning for this for so long. We wanted it to be an occasion to remember. And I can tell you that nothing will make us remember this occasion much more than your presence, sir, and the gift that you have given us. Say, gifts that money cannot buy. I've not got money to give you to say, Governor, I bribe you, do this for me. Who am I? But it is human beings that God uses to make good things happen. And the good things that you have done are already recorded in heaven. You will get your due reward in Jesus' name. Amen.
The governor of the state, Yahaya Bello, makes a grand appearance and witnesses the crowning of the new Oba. The governor is happy to show his affinity with the people of Ekiri, especially his friend, Babajide Kolade Otitoju, on whom he pours encomium.
The stool of Akinri, of Ekinri Ade, be upgraded from ungraded to third class, from third class to second class, and in the interest of fairness, equity, and justice, please raise the memo and upgrade the stool to first class. And most of the time, my brother, Chief Babajide Otitoju, in those days when we used to fight, he will address me using his program. I will be speaking Ibira to me. I'm like, come on, are you sure this is not my brother? That is missing somewhere in a Kiriade. Let's go and bring him home. Thank God, very objective, very upright journalist, investigative journalist, an award winner in his field. Your Royal Majesty, sir, congratulations. You have worthy children. Just here now, one of your sons was introduced to me, a medical doctor. You have lived a fulfilled life. I congratulate all of you. You will never believe that an ancient town like Ekiriade would have produced prominent sons and daughters like this.
The installation of the new king is a memory that will remain evergreen as the sons and daughters of Ekiriade came out en masse to grace the occasion. Long live Oba Johnson Kolade Otitoju.
I would say congratulations to His Royal Majesty Oba Johnson Kolade Otitoju. Baba was overwhelmed seeing us. Baba was overwhelmed, and at his age, 82, Baba could still recognize people. Mama was all over me.
He has never fallen sick in his life. Even my mom confessed. He's still faster than, he's 86 actually.
86?
Yes, he's still faster than many young people. And it's just the grace of God, because he has the energy to carry on. And the truth is, Governor Yabelo is a man who believes in justice.
He did the unprecedented.
He did the unprecedented, and he wanted to know how old the stool was. We've had Akinins, we've had Elewans who wanted to get the stool upgraded. For years, it never happened. One of our most talented kings was the late Zacchaeus Akinyele, an auditor and a custodian of the heritage of our hometown. Throughout his time, no upgrade.
They left the school ungraded.
Yes, they left it ungraded for so long. And when you go to the Nigerian Museum and Archives, you see how old the community is, yet left ungraded for so long. And Governor Yabelo premised his decision on the age of the stool.
So surprising.
The age of the stool, and we were not expecting it. You could see that even when we asked whether it should be upgraded, and everyone said yes. And the first thing he said was upgrading to third class.
Yes.
They were happy. They were happy. People were happy.
Yes,
they were happy because they felt that was progress.
Something that was not graded at all.
Yes.
Ab initio.
And then they moved to second class. They were like, are we in dreamland? And by the time he said first class, my dad's mouth hung slack. You know? I'm like...
Knowing the implication.
Yes.
Of
felt like, look,
that pronouncement.
This is some, this
has
has ramifications this thing that the governor has done is not simply for Oba Titoju. It's for generations unborn.
Yes.
Because this is what they had always wanted. Let them be in their rightful place in the community, in the scheme of things. Let their traditional ruler be recognized. Now the governor gave the stool triple promotion. Triple promotion.
I asked him.
You know? And you know, some of the governor's aides were his students. Some of the governor's aides, like the DG government house, was taught English by my dad at Abdulaziz Atta Memorial College. And there are many like that. They came in a wave to give him support. So the governor just felt this was the right thing to do, and he supported it with historical validation, and everyone is happy. The community is happy, and I'm grateful that this happened in my lifetime.
Yeah.
More than 700 years.
They said it's going to have a far-reaching implication.
Yes.
All eyes will now be on this tool now.
Yes.
Because
it has to be. And
it's first class Oba.
yes, and he's educated, you know, educated. His wife has a master's degree from Ohio University.
Yeah.
You know, both of them are educated. My dad was an examiner for WAEC for more than 40 years. You know, an English examiner. And my mom too was also an examiner for many years. So these are people who had always committed themselves to teaching people, getting people to be good, especially in English language, because my mom majored in literature and my dad in English. So
what a combination.
It's, wherever they turn to, they find people that they had trained who remain indebted to them. So it was a happy day for us. It to be so, and God answered our prayer.
Thank you. GKB, our gratitude to Governor Yaya Dozebelo. Because some of his aides that I spoke with, they told me that they didn't see that coming. You know what it takes. You are OCRA. Yeah. You know what it takes for the government to just make such proclamation, as in the first-class traditional ruler from ungraded.
This is the first time in a long time that something of this nature will happen.
I said unprecedented.
Because normally you move to third class, then they wait a couple of years. Then maybe a new king, you now make him second class. And then you have the right political connections. You now make you first class.
It takes time.
It takes time. It takes generations. For example, as you know, Ibadan is 200 plus years old. But we only got a crown Oba in 1937. For you to know a city that has been in existence for that long. Not to
1997.
No, 1937.
37, sorry.
When Oba Alashilaya became the first crowned Olubadan. Up to that point, we were having ballets. We are talking about the biggest concentration of black men in Africa at any given time. So I congratulate the Kabiyesi, because no matter what they write history now, to be on record that the first graded Oba, the first third-class Oba, the first second-class Oba, the first first-class Oba is Pa Johnson Kolade Ritoju. And that is very fundamental, because no matter what they write the history of the town, 700 years from now, it will still reflect the fact that Baba is the first Oba to be third class, second class, and first class. And as you know, because I know that journalists don't bear titles, but the Aremo is here with us, and we are very happy. I congratulate the Kabiyesi, we congratulate the Aremo, and we congratulate the people of the town for this achievement. Like I said, it's a sign of progress. And once you are able to do this, the town itself now attracts more investments. Because people now realize that there's a town called Reade somewhere in Kogi. I was in Yagba last year, January, and the Obas were complaining about their role during the contest of the government of Kogi. Though when we got to State House, we realized the fact that Okun people were well represented, did the government of Yaya Bello at the highest level. So again, I congratulate Kabiyesi, and the
Olori.
And the Olori, and the children, both young and old, both powerful and not so powerful.
The Ekiti at home and in the
diaspora, yeah, they were very proud.
From the US to witness this event.
Yes,
they all left very happy, feeling proud.
Yes.
You know, that at last
no, history has been made. This
has received the recognition that it deserves. So that is the greater joy. We have communities where there are up to 3 first-class of us. So why should our own be different? This is the point that has been made poignantly by what the governor has done. It's not a big deal to grade us that thoroughly deserve to be graded. That stool thoroughly deserve to be graded, and that is what the governor has done. By history, by his age. You know, there's a long list of traditional rulers, of Elewa, of Akenes, who did not taste this kind of thing.
Yeah. As the
governor did what he felt was the right thing to do. And we should not forget the sacrifice that the governor made to be physically present.
Yeah, all the way from Lokoja.
He left Lagos 3:55 a.m. After a meeting with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and drove down because he doesn't like flying within Nigeria. He doesn't even like flying at all. So he drove down by road to be at the event, and he spent 2 hours, 10 minutes. It's very rare for the governor to go to an event and spend more than 2 hours. This was unprecedented. 2 hours, 10 minutes was what the time that he spent at that event. That underlines the respect that he has for us as a people, you know, and his determination to do what he was convinced was the right thing.
Thank you, the White Lion. Thank you. And he even said you should thank the people of Ekiti because that area is so
peaceful people
that he has never had any source of worry in his last 7 years on that community. That's no security concern. That's why he deems it fit to really compensate them, that they don't give him any problem in terms of security and everything. Moving on, it appears corruption has permeated every part of Nigeria, with young people now caught perpetrating corrupt acts. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has announced that Ejikeme Joy Memosoma, a student in Anambra State, who was widely regarded as the best candidate in the 2023 and awarded a 3 million naira scholarship by Innocence Motto, manipulated her score to defraud the public. She was exposed when officials of the state government set to honor her put a call through to JAMB to confirm her claim, only for the board to reveal that Ejikeme actually scored 249 and not 362, she claimed. This is quite scandalous. This is the first time I'll be seeing something like this. This is the first time. It is another dimension. Because if the state government, if they were not as meticulous, you know, after you might put something on the social media, I saw this earlier, and people were congratulating her across the country. It went viral and everything. I saw the girl's face and everything. But to host Innocent Motto is immediately 3 million naira. But for the state government to say, okay, let's double check. Somebody would have said, let's double check from JAMB. And for the sake of that, it would have been a fool of the entire state because they wanted to host her.
Yes, and JAMB also talked about a candidate or somebody who did not even take part in this exam in Kaduna, who did something similar. A certain Atong Gerard, who claimed to have scored 380, saying that his entire ethnic group had taken up the issue, requesting that he be given a special recognition, only for the board to discover that I did not even obtain the UTME application form in the first place. He didn't obtain their documents yet. He claimed that he scored 380, and his community wanted him recognized. So JAMB is saying that it is going to prosecute this little girl, Ejikeme. In my view, Ejikeme, the little girl, Joy Ejikeme, is too young to pull this kind of stunts.
So, yeah.
There are individuals who may
have aided
and abetted this fraud with the intention of making money. Because at the end of the day, yes, you know, even in beauty contests sometimes, because of the money that some people seek to make, they will rig the process. All kinds of things are people prepared to do just because of money. So I would want the DSS to complete its investigation.
Yes,
so that we can see
the person
the true, we can know the true story, what really happened, what transpired, why would anyone do this? And the parents are saying, oh, she's always called first, the principal of the school. And
249 is not bad. It's just an average score. Yeah. But it might not. You might not get the cutoff mark to make some courses in the University of Lagos.
Serious courses.
Medicine, law, even mass comm from the University of Lagos. You will not get you that for this 249. But just an average score, you can enter through the VC's list.
Yes. Not everybody knows ABC. So
if you come from zones that have privileges, you can come in with that score.
Okay. Southeast, but
Southeast is too
it's too competitive for 249 to make that kind of impact.
Somebody from
Anambra State, no. You have people who want to do medicine, 290.
So many of them. I am just disappointed the extent to which now what JAMB needs to do is to set the record straight, announce to us the person who scored the highest. Let us even know who scored the highest. You know, according to them, this the girl had sent a message to the board's platform to request her UTME result, after which she manually inflated her scores and pasted same on the 2022 UTME result sheet. Unknown to her, the board had changed the design of the 2023 UTME result. So this was what exposed this fraud. But again, since her father and the principal of the school are saying, look, she's always come first in her class, this and that, and this and that. Or those ones are not. JAMB has been doing this for years. I think JAMB has served the country so well that we should be able to trust JAMB in matters like this. You know, and if JAMB says, look, you didn't score this mark, I don't think anybody has any reason.
And GKB is even dangerous when you see a young girl like this involved in something like this, and you take it further. It becomes ridiculous if people want to add ethnic coloration to this. We can be so ridiculous in Nigeria.
They've added already.
But you know, this is not.
Well, we tend to get carried away with bad news. It's in our nature. Just like we get to be elated with good news. So people should take the good with the bad. If you are being profiled as coming from a group that is always excellent, you must also take it. When they show that parts of that group are also malicious, also like this. That to me is the answer to your ethnic question. Back to the original question. I don't think this is new. The late Ibidapo Obe, Unilag, I once sat with him, I think 4 years ago at the Market inauguration, and complained about post-JAMB. I said, Prof, what's happening? Why do children have to go through JAMB and go through post-JAMB? And he said, most universities don't trust whatever is coming out of JAMB. So they have to conduct their own exams to weed out those who are elevated unjustly. If I can use that word.
I think there are some special centers where they coach people.
Not only coach.
They tell them answers.
Yes.
Not only coach, they also provide the environment.
Some parents pay. Some parents actually pay.
Good money.
Pay good money for their wards to get into those special centers.
A number of private schools in Lagos now, I can tell you authoritatively, a number of private schools, immediately get that paper, they work the distance out in the blackboard, and the teacher, you are meant to solve it out, and the children will be writing it, so that the school will say, keep that good record.
Yes.
My brother is in the US now. He was actually forced 3 years ago in the school in Meron, in command here, to actually solve the mathematics of WAEC, during WAEC. And he said, no, this is not right. And the principal threatened to fire him.
No,
he was fired.
Like I said,
he was fired.
It's not new. We may think this is novel. It's not. Because once the professor told me that, then I realized what I was in Port Harcourt. I remember that I spoke to a man at the Share Club, and they were talking about states that are doing very well. And one man from the state government now told me that GKB, the more you look, the less you see. That even at some level, there are people going out of their way to create the impression that their states are the best when it comes to things like this, overtly or covertly. And that's why the post-jam thing was very popular at a point in time. My fear is this: if they caught this one based solely on the design of the form, imagine the number of people who have gotten away with this. That means there's a cabal somewhere who are specialized in this for the right amount.
And a school is not likely to discover this.
Yeah.
A school is not likely to easily discover this.
That's
People can get, and that's why some can't defend their scores.
Yeah.
When they are subjected to the post-jam test, you see them.
They'll be exposed. Yeah.
Julie, I think this all started. They don't fail classes again in schools.
No.
No, they are not even interested.
They don't fail.
Look,
they don't repeat
even
it.
Universities now, you will find students, Yahoo boys, who have no time to sit down in their lecture rooms and receive lecture, simply bribing their teachers. I was told the story of a teacher who would just simply park his vehicle in front of the hostel and say, look, the key is there. You go and fill the tank. All sorts of nonsensical things are happening these days. So only God can save us. Where we are headed, only God knows.
And this will tell the state governments and those giving awards to always second check. Whatever people claim, whatever they
it was smart of Anambra state government to actually make this move. Yes, double check.
Thank God, Innocent had not released 3 million.
3 million naira.
It was just a promise.
I have a feeling that there's a cabal or a cartel somewhere working within the system of JAMP. Because if the only reason this girl was caught was because of the redesign, I can't vouch for other high scoring in the last years.
All right, we'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this breather. Please don't go away.
Lagos is the most visited state in Africa as the 5th largest economy on the continent. Covering the state and its government is no mere feat, it's a busy beat. We go beyond the curtain of tapes to travel in far into the deep.
I want to thank the Lagos state government for the healthcare facility.
To bring stories that cut across all spectrums.
A greater Lagos shall be ours.
We tell you stories that define our collective well-being as Lagosians. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
If you're just joining us, this is Journalist Hangout, reaching you from our headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria. And BKO is back, and I have GKB too, Gladikaide Balogun Osiare.
And Aremo.
I don't know. It's better a chief.
Kolade Otoju. Cannot be a chief. He's a prince now.
No,
Prince.
Simply Mr.
Mr. Kolade Otoju. Okay. Not Okulora again.
Babajide. You know, the titles, I mean, those, I'm not returning the chieftaincy title.
Okay.
So I don't have to be called.
Okulora, the mouthpiece of.
But you know, a prince can no longer be a chief. It's an anomaly.
Really?
You are both titles now.
Oh. Are you kidding me?
I'm telling you, I'm the historian of this.
Yes. He's in a better position.
No, you're a culture icon on the
Yes,
not the historian.
Okay. The culture icon. And the culture states clearly.
You shouldn't get it twisted.
Culturally.
I can ask questions that you won't be able to.
Culturally, you can no longer take that as the RMO. You can no longer take.
No, I'm not arguing with that, but when you sit before a historian,
okay,
and you are saying you are the historian on the table, I can take you to realms that will show who really is the historian between us.
Moving on now.
You are aware that my position as
But I know that as a culture icon.
Okay.
I give it to you, Yoruba culture icon. I'm proud of the fact that you are a culture icon.
Okay. Prince Otoju, ceasefire. Moving on.
No, we are not fight now.
All right. 4 months after the conclusion of the 2023 general election, the outcome is still being challenged at the courts of public opinion and that of law. The presidency has rejected a report by the European Union Electoral Observer Mission on the 2023 general election, describing it as a product of a poorly done desk job that relied heavily on a few persons. In a statement issued by the Special Advisor to the President on Special Duties, Communications and Strategy, Dele Alake, President Bola Tinubu said he has reasons to believe that the jaundiced report, based on the views of just 50 observers, will merely sustain the same premature stance contained in the EU's preliminary reports released in March. This is very, very heavy, interesting, because we saw a lot of reports. The African Union gave their report, the European Union gave their report, Yaga Africa gave their report, and other people that monitored the election. But this European Union, they came with 50 persons on ground. And the argument is that out of 179,000 polling units, that how come you were omnipresent, so to say, in the 179,000 polling units, that you could come to a conclusion with your, just 50 man on ground.
Very shallow services.
The entire sample area was just about maximum of 1,000 polling centers.
Yeah.
Out of more than 170-something thousand. It's easy to simply dismiss an electoral outcome based on a few incidents here and there. And the Deputy Governor of Lagos State said that, look, even when you talk about voter intimidation in Lagos, we are not saying it didn't happen. We have condemned it. The people believe that, Jide is an hypocrite because they are hypocrites. They've seen me here condemn the intimidation of voters on election day at least 3-4 times. Even on your view, I condemned it. They say, he will not talk about it. Because he thinks APC, they will come for him, this and that. Not everyone can be like you people. I stand by what I believe is right. And I said, look, intimidating people by way of trying to suppress votes is not acceptable. We do not want it. We do not want it. I do not want to see it. I've condemned it. They will not talk about the fact that I've condemned it. They would behave like it was a non-event. But because they were thinking he will never be man enough to condemn it, why will I not condemn it? I felt that it was wrong, and I did condemn it. And I'm still condemning it here now.
Voter suppression.
Yes, here in Lagos. I opposed it.
In the entire election.
So now, what we are saying is, you cannot signpost that election with an incident that the deputy governor of Lagos State correctly captured as having taken place in just less than 1% of the entire, I think more than 13,000 polling centers in Lagos.
Yes, in Lagos.
Just less than 1%. You can't use that to tar the entire election. You can't use one brush to tar the entire election. Make it look like that's what happened everywhere. And I've given the example. I said, look, you don't have to beat people to win an election. In Magodo here, Mojid and others, where they voted, they won, the APC won with a hefty margin. They didn't beat anybody. But in the previous election, that same place, they lost. That is the presidential. Yes. This, by the time of the governorship election, they mobilized better. We talked about the things that made them to do badly in the election. And they worked on it. Those who like the truth, those who do not like the truth will say, oh, it's simply because Christians turned against them. No. They didn't work hard enough by way of mobilizing for the election. By the time they were complacent, even agents, some agents, until after the election, they were not paid. It didn't happen in the second election. In some cases, and I'm sure the deputy governor can testify to this. By Thursday, the same agents that had not been paid until after Saturday, they were paid as early as Thursday, which was an improvement. And it helped them because they mobilized better. The kind of votes that came out of Alimosho, we didn't see it in the governorship election. We didn't see it in the presidential election.
Far cry.
Some of the people that they fought against, internal quarrel within the APC, where some people will assume that they are bigger than everybody. They say, go to hell, nothing will happen. When they didn't do well in the first election, they went back to start begging some of those people.
With their tails between their legs, yeah.
Tails in between legs, they went begging some of those people, and we saw the result. Everyone jumped in to make sure that they got a better outcome.
That got 700 and something thousand votes.
Yes. So
the runner-up of 200.
Yes. So now in that election, you cannot say, oh, because they were beating people. In many places were those incidents recorded.
No incidents in Fakojaye.
I said, is it okay, those rich people in Magodo, are they the ones that you'll be flogging with Koboko?
Where will you say?
Who was beating people in Mojid's polling center? Is the biggest. More than 400 votes. Whom did they beat? It didn't stop them from winning, but they lost in the first election. People were taken for granted in the first election. They had to appease them, and it was the difference maker. So this is the thing. We talked about this. They asked me on your view. They said, if they didn't intimidate, do you think they will have won? I said, they do not have to intimidate to win. You have the population on your side. What you didn't do was you didn't mobilize enough. You were complacent. You thought the name of Tinubu can simply win an election. An election, what you do on election day matters a lot.
All over the world.
All over the world. What is called get out the vote. That is what determines who wins elections in the US. On election day, you must come out. Mobilize people, because people are naturally lazy on election day. They want to watch it on TV. You get out, you are knocking on every door. Because people that you had campaigned to repeatedly, on election day, they can get lethargic and not come out. But you're knocking on, you get volunteers to be knocking on people's doors to say, go out and vote. The D-Day has come. Don't compromise your right to vote. And people will come out and vote. And we saw it in Lagos, in the governorship election. So I do not believe that it makes sense to simply dismiss. You know, a lot of what we are saying is because they did not post on IREP. That's all. This election, what people are saying, oh, why did they post on IREP? Go and check the presidential election, for example. How many places did they record incidents like voter intimidation and all that? It's just the IREF that they're talking about, that they didn't post on IREF.
That became a major interest.
How can that then be simply used to destroy the entire election, in which we saw people that ordinarily in the past they wouldn't have won? Will an Okada rider would have been able to get into the National Assembly?
You read the report.
Yeah, I read it.
Now, breaking it down, do you think they now have enough material to arm the Election Petition Tribunal with, as in, with this kind of this? Can it in any way influence?
That ship has sailed, as you know, because they finished their own case, the PDP and Labour Party. They've closed.
Too late. It's INEC defending.
It's the INEC now that will now defend, and then they can cross-examine. You cannot bring in no facts. So that one, that ship, long time ago. So it's not going to make any difference. But like Femi, Dr. Femi Amsa said, no court of law, either public or constitutional, is going to change anything based on an insignificant amount of incidents in an election. That's why when people in science, when people are talking, they will talk about the sample size. So you will not want to know that our sample size is XYZ. And it does not reflect fundamentally the way majority of people altered the way they do. So to me, because that's why the report is going to voter party and lack of women, because they are looking for things to judge all the just to make
it's heavy on those.
So that's because there is no case to be made that the elections were flawed fundamentally. And because you can't do that, you now have to do what we call primary school, to the answer. So we want to do a report that will show that this election was dishonest. Let's put A, let's put B. If the one will stick along the line. So that's why when I saw the reaction, I was amused. Because I've read the reports and there were no smoking guns there. There were no silver bullets. Just observation was a very small group, a very minute space within the sample size. Because to do Nigeria today, you cannot do sample size of the Southwest. So the Southwest does not reflect northern Nigeria. Yes. You cannot do a sample size of the Southeast.
Or South.
Southeast does not reflect northern Nigeria. You cannot even do it in Kano. Because Kano is not a reflection of even Jigawa or Gombe or Yobe. These are peculiar nature that's only environmental in size. So when people do reports like this, you laugh. But we have this residual colonial mentality that whatever Igbo says must be correct. Because they are Igbo, as it were.
Julie, I've been covering elections, I think, since 1999, thereabout. I have not seen a time that the European Union have come out this categorical. I don't know. I don't have any record. Why do you think this is happening now?
Oh, they've had cause in the past to complain about conduct of our elections. But this...
Submitting a final report. And
you know, for them, a lot of them were also anticipating a particular outcome. The West generally believed that Peter Obi will win the election.
Yes, CNN projected 46%.
Absolute rubbish.
Give it to Peter Obi.
You are not in Nigeria. You are not in Nigeria. You know, we saw some of them even saying Peter Obi would defeat Kwankwaso in Kano. I mean, there's nothing in my view, borderline madness. To imagine that Peter Obi will go and defeat, and these are opinion polls that and they were happy to push it out.
How now? How? Even Ganduje, how now? You can't.
Even Ganduje cannot boast at that level. You know? It's like even when you are doing such sampling and you limit it to people who have Android phones,
in Sabongiri,
then don't go to Kano. Don't go to Kano. A good number of the people, they have no business with phones.
People in no man's land.
If they have phones, it's just phones where they can use to call their children. That's all. We have not reached that level whereby you can conduct opinion polls. Yes, a lot of us have phones, but how many of those phones are Androids? Are they literate enough to be able to, on their own, to say, okay, this. So that means your opinion poll is for only a privileged few. That's why those outcomes were like that. And somebody called me and said, hey, the way these people are going, projecting that a man that is not even likely to come second will win the election. By the time he loses, they will start saying that no, he did not deserve to lose, so this and that. I was told that will happen. Look at an election in which Kaduna State, controlled by the APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu only won one local government. And it wasn't even the local government of the governor. He won Brinengwari
South.
Brinengwari, that the local government that he visited at night. It was the only presidential candidate who could find the courage to visit Brenengwari.
Yes, Bandits.
So it's a killing field. It's a killing field. All of them chose not to go there. But he went there at night, and they gave him a traditional title, and they rewarded him with victory. That's the only local government that Asiwaju won. A PDP won Kaduna with a comfortable margin.
Of the presidential election?
Yes. A comfortable margin. So what are we talking about? In the past, they would simply have written results. They won't even agree. I've said before, somebody said, oh, how can we allow the vice president to lose an election in his home state? And they changed a result that had previously been announced during the Obasanjo regime, 2003. They changed the result. People had already been congratulating the winner. They changed it that no. How can the vice president lose in his home state? They change, in this country, we are now behaving like we didn't know.
The number of voters will be more than the number of registered voters.
Obasanjo in 2003 election, the result from Ogun State was higher than the number of registered voters. I was in Supreme Court when it was decided. I covered the judgment of the Supreme Court.
You forgot Rivers, where every registered voter voted.
On a rainy day.
Brass in River State.
Everybody.
On a rainy day.
Brass in River State.
Everybody voted.
You know, on a rainy day, you are not supposed to even get so many people.
Everybody.
But the turnout
and
was
they voted for a
90%.
particular political party.
So
nobody
these people have forgotten. I've seen boys who were in their diapers when we began covering elections say this is the worst in Nigeria. How old are you? How many elections? Did you see wet here? Did you see 1983?
So House of War.
That you can speak with finality that this is the worst election in Nigerian history. Did you see 1983?
The generation of absolutes.
They mean everything. Just decide. Oh, your opinion should nobody should disagree with your opinion. That's what we see on social media. Everyone has an opinion, even on matters that they are not educated about. And it's that opinion that they want to ram down the throats of other people. That is what we see from an unreading generation. A generation that is extremely limited in terms of the knowledge in their heads. Yet they want you to take their opinion. Opinion that is not a product of consistent reading. Even journalists. You see journalists, unreading journalists, sitting in their studios, wearing cheap suits, and simply pontificating, getting magisterial about matters that they are not educationally qualified. They are not educationally qualified. We know we are people that you should be hanging out with. They are not even supposed to be hanging out with human beings. By your training. This is why should you be surprised that the European Union will simply dismiss an election where 7 governors could not win senatorial elections, where the APC, the ruling party, lost 20 or 22 states. You know what it means for a ruling party to lose that many?
I think the inability of INEC to upload the results of that IRF obliterated all these facts that people really they easily forgot.
IRF, while the idea of the IRF,
yeah, feeling that look, the level of transparency.
See, the IRF is not the primary evidence. The primary evidence is still the
ECHA.
That is the one that everybody signs. That is the primary source.
Take to court.
That is the primary source recognized by law, by the Constitution. So if for any reason you add, an INEC is permitted to decide what the format to use, whether electronic or manual.
But they promised Nigerians.
They promised Nigerians, but they claim that they suffered a glitch. Or are we saying it is not possible to experience a glitch?
For technology to
even in the UK, in the US, the Obamacare issue, have we forgotten what happened?
Crashed.
Did it not crash? Did the portal not crash? Are we now saying that it's impossible to suffer technological glitch at any point in time? Didn't FCMB suffer a computer glitch that was posting money to people's accounts? Yes. They had to apologize now. And they posted it into Magu's friend's account. And they took that to the president.
I remember.
We told you Magu is a thief.
Yes, 750 million.
Something that they eventually reversed, though, and apologized in national dailies. But Nigerians held on to that and said Magu is a thief. We told you that money that was put inside his account, and they used it to convince the president that we told you. So, was that not a glitch? You suddenly wake up in an account where you normally, will have like 15 million. And then you saw hefty money. 750 million. Actually. You know? That's the kind of dream that you hope to wake up.
Yes, you get the alarm.
You are dreaming of 750 million. You don't want to wake up from that dream. But when you wake up and you see yourself, you look at your surroundings.
You look at the phone again.
You become sad again. You become sad. Why did I wake up from this fantastic?
So please stop talking about 750 million. I think the problem is that when you tell people that sites will crash once they are overloaded, people don't want to.
That thing could even actually accommodate just 2 million people.
But imagine the number of people going to that site.
Did it not happen to Zenith Bank during the Naira coloration?
Even after them.
It did not happen. Why people able to use it?
Till now.
No, it's a lot better.
No, we've not recovered.
Don't even talk about first bank.
I don't want to talk about a bank.
The challenge we face as a people is that whatever we heard first is what we run with. We are not the people given to changing our minds. We don't want to be confused with facts. We don't like it. It's too dangerous. We like to be told things that validates our position. Then we can move forward. Because we've been telling people on this program and other numerous programs that this is possible. But they keep telling us, no, why that day? Because that day is the only day that number of people will go online to check the results. They will not go on the 24th. They don't have to go on the 26th. It was only that day. And that's why it crashed.
How many attacks we even suffered?
No, we don't want to talk about that.
Cyber attacks.
Yes, cyber attacks that we suffered. No, we are not technical people. We don't know why this happened. But you can't invalidate an election just because of one issue that they could not post on IREV. You can't.
The ECH form is still available.
You can't. Even the biggest democracy in the world, India, the election is both electronic and manual.
It's dual, yeah.
It's both electronic and manual for such a big. It's now the biggest by population. India has overtaken China.
Yes. That's the biggest democracy in the world.
It has overtaken China as even the most populous country in the world now. This year, it overtook China. So, and the election is both manual and electronic. So, before we could not post on IREV, cannot invalidate an election. We have people's testimonies. Those who say, if not for Beavers, I will have lost this election. There are people like that.
You know? And vice versa.
Yes.
If not for Beavers, I will have won.
That's to leave that. Osiare, thank you, GKB. Thank you. And Baba Jirikolade Otitoju, the maestro himself.
Simply, Mister.
Welcome back. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program at 5. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.